Welcome to Ignite Success, where we talk about people, places, projects that fire us up. I'm your host, Suzie Becker, and I'm here with Seidel of the Seidel Agency. Hi, Stephen.
Hi, Suzie. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm super excited to talk to you.
The privilege is all ours. I want to hear a little bit of your description of the Seidel Agency first.
Sure. Thank you for asking. So we deliver a unique blend of PR, but the PR that we deliver, we call purpose relations. We start with a 3-step process. We call it award-winning PR. At the end of the day, we're all deserving of an award, whether it's a trophy or just being seen or heard. We have the fortunate opportunity of telling our story. And the way we do that is we start with your mission. Then we get really clear on your message. We turn your mess into your message. And then lastly, we get into your marketing and your media, which is where we elevate your story to the highest stages and pages.
Fantastic. So do you ever have a client who comes to you and says, here's my mission, and you say, there's your first barrier to entry. Let's start off by revising that so that it becomes a message that makes the best sense to bring you the best return on your investment?
Absolutely. That's a great question, Suzie. I think a lot of people start somewhere. Sometimes they start where they simply have a product or a vision and they say, this is what I want. Other people say, this is what I care deeply about, or this is what I'm most passionate about. And so it's our job to, coming from an entertainment background, is to really distill that story. You are the hero, like Joseph Campbell, or heroine. We're all, sharing the story of the ups and downs. And so our job is to really make sure that you fully understand what it is that you're delivering. And we're never selling. We're really just telling. We're making an impact, and we're influencing people through our story.
I really appreciate the way you've reframed that. Coming from that entertainment background, I'm finding that the most marketing that I'm resonating with does feel exactly like that, a storytelling, not necessarily a selling. I want to feel it viscerally resonate with me so that I can imagine myself. It's that suspension of disbelief. It used to be someone would tell me an idea or a product made the most sense for me, but now I actually have to sort of envision myself in that space. Is that where you're working in this new marketing and media landscape?
Yes, absolutely. And I think now it's more important than ever with AI and deepfakes and all these other things. We really want the target audience. They say successful media and marketing is 2 things. It's where you have an irresistible product and it has the perfect target market. So we understand you know your product. We need to dig deep into who your target market is. And like Michael Caine once said in an interview, he says that he doesn't want to hold up a window and say, look at me. He wants to hold up a mirror and say, look at you, so that you see a reflection of yourself through the messages and the movements that we are building, so that you can get on board with that and really build that movement. You see that a lot with Beyonce and Taylor Swift and Swifties and all, because they're brilliant at marketing and delivering that PR and that word of mouth.
Exactly. It's curating the persona that you're selling or you're staging to. You have to know your audience, as they say, and in this particular landscape, what you're doing is you're taking the time with your client to understand that they may know their product, but do they really know their population? And you help them to really convey the right message to that right audience.
Yeah, that's great. I agree 100% with that. And the other piece is sometimes people don't know. But if you have no idea whatsoever, then the chances are that your successful business that you are hoping for, most businesses don't last more than 5 years, but you really need to understand that target market. But sometimes it could be a product for everyone. And that's where it's up to you to really lean in to who is it right for. Ideally, a lot of people are targeting busy moms and moms because they're making the majority of the purchasing decisions. But is it a mom who's a soccer mom or a stay-at-home mom or a successful entrepreneurial mom, if you are targeting those moms? But that's where it's up to you as a company to really follow your mission and your vision, but at the same time, do some testing, which is where we work with you to make sure that that messaging is targeting them effectively. And then once you do that, you can elevate that. Too often people start with marketing first and they blast things out to masses when they should really start from a one-on-one basis.
Oh, I completely agree with you. You only get one chance to make that great first impression. And if you're going to take the opportunity to do that, if you know what you do, you want to find someone like Seidel, whose job it is to do quicker, faster, better, at finding the best way to relay that information to the person who wants it the most. Thanks for sharing your input with us, Stephen.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate that. One thing is I'm working with another artist. He's a rapper MC. He comes from St. Louis. And so he's releasing an album, but what we really wanted to lean in on, he's a socially conscious rapper. And so in lieu of just sending out songs like so many others, we leaned in on his mission. He has a program called Beat School with Mr. J. We actually renamed him as Mr. J because it was it was easier to remember and relatable.
And Dr. J was already taken.
Dr. J was already taken. And so Mr. J, he's a motivator, and so essentially he's set up this program called Beat School with Mr. J. He's teaching kids the value of music, and the name of his company is called Mind of the Noise, being mindful of the noise within your head, but allowing that noise and repackaging it so that you can live a power-fueled life full of success and having that mindful awareness. And so that's what we're targeting. His mission as more of the spearhead towards his overall approach towards music, and then the music kind of comes in second tier.
It's the why you want it, not the what you want. Once you figure out your why, the what is easy to achieve.
Yeah, Simon Sinek said it best, start with why. If you haven't seen his YouTube video about starting with why or read his book, do check that out. It's brilliant.
I love it. Thanks so much for visiting with us today, Stephen. If you want to find out more about Stephen Seidel and the Seidel Agency, you can visit us at thedailynewsnetwork.com. I'm your host, Suzie Becker. Stay inspired and inspiring.